All right, we're ready to continue on with Florida. We'll ask Coach White for some general thoughts on the game, then we'll take your questions for the student athletes and then excuse them and finish up with the coach. So, Coach, would you begin?
Yeah, wasn't our best effort. We're coming off the best stretch of performances that we've put together all year, and tonight we took a step backward. Unfortunately, we've got to find a way to get home and regroup and find our mojo, get back to playing the way that we were playing these last 3 weeks. That said, I thought Arkansas was really good. I thought they were the aggressor from the tip. I thought they got the majority of the loose balls, pounded us on the glass, and we really struggled to string together consecutive stops versus a terrific offensive team. In addition, I thought that they defended us at a high level, especially with their matchup zone.
We'll take your questions for either of the student athletes. Raise your hand, and we'll get a microphone to you. Let's start right on the far right.
Hey, Chris, can you just talk about that run they had there at the end of the half that kind of got the momentum going their way?
They did a good job with their matchup zone in that first half late, and we couldn't get any good looks, and we didn't defend very well. And they made some shots and got out in transition, and we just didn't get any stops for a couple minutes there, and they went on a nice little run.
All right, let's go to the front row.
Yeah, Keith, a little discouraging that you guys kind of let maybe some of the missed shots affect your defense, or how do you account for some of maybe the breakdowns tonight?
We had a couple breakdowns, but still we should have fought the reverse like we do in the past games. We should have talked on defense. And just because we're not making shots don't mean we shouldn't play defense.
Raise your hand. Other questions for either? Let's go to the left side in the middle.
For both players, how do you guys try to put this loss behind you with the NCAA tournament coming up this week?
Chris?
It's a new season after Sunday when they tell us who we're playing and where we're going. We're just gonna refocus and try to get that edge back that we had the last 6 games of the regular season, and just come out there and fight. No matter who we're playing, we're gonna try to get back to what we do, and that's defend and distribute the ball and get good shots.
Same for Keith.
We're just gonna go back, watch film, see our mistakes, and see what we need to work on in the next practice.
Raise your hand. Any other questions for either of the student athletes? I'll take another one on the right. Go ahead.
Hey, Chris, is it a good you never want to lose a game, but when you lose a game in the SEC tournament, to have that feeling of it being one and done and going into the next week when obviously your season could end?
Like you said, it's never a good feeling to lose. Hopefully this gives us our edge back that we had. I don't really know what else to say about that one. So.
Got time for one more for either of the student athletes. Want to raise your hand? All right, let's take it right on the left in the middle.
Do you think that having such a long break between the end of the regular season and then getting the double bye, obviously, you want the double bye for the rest and everything, but do you think it actually hurts you guys to be off that long?
The question was for
both of them.
Okay, Chris.
It could be a good thing or a bad thing. We thought it would be, better for us, to rest up and get a couple guys back healthy. But that worked. I think it worked in Arkansas's favor better. They had a couple games here, and they were kind of had their their mojo with them already, and they came out playing confident. And we started off a little slow, and they got us from the beginning, and we were just trying to fight the whole game to get it back in the way we wanted it to go.
And Keith.
Same as TOs. It really don't make no difference how many days we got off. Some of us were ready to play, some of us weren't, but we got to go back, watch film, because this happens a bunch, but we need to go back and see what we did wrong.
All right, we'll excuse the student athletes. You can return to the locker room. Thank you. And we'll continue on with Coach White, raise your hand and we'll get a floor mic to you. Let's start on the far right.
Yeah, Mike, there in the first half, it felt like you guys were you could have had a much bigger lead than you had at that point, and then
Yep.
when they go on that run, all the momentum kind of shifted over to them.
Absolutely, Pat. I thought that we had a couple opportunities there to spread a lead. We had a few open looks. We had a 1-on-0 layup opportunity. It's crazy. We have struggled with making layups all year, and I guarantee we shoot more layups in practice than any team in the country. It's obviously become mental at this point. Not much, this is the last chapter. We're about to move into the last chapter, but we've got to figure out a way to and continue brainstorming as a staff to figure out how we can finish at the rim better. And then I thought, to Arkansas's credit, there was some stagnancy there late first half with a lot of switching man and some matchup zone to where we weren't getting a lot out of actions. We were holding the ball a little bit. We were standing a little bit too much. Did a better job of it in the second half, but just couldn't find a way to get stops.
Okay, next question down on the front row on the right.
Mike, that's the second straight game where Barford just really had a big game on you guys. What made him so tough again tonight, and what, if anything, you look back, you feel like we could have done differently on him?
I don't, Kevin, before watching it, I watched the first half breakdowns at halftime with our staff. I watched all of their made field goals and our fouls. Before going back to watch the second half, off the top of my head, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do differently. I mean, he scored on whoever was guarding him. He scored off ball screens. He scored off step back jumpers against our bigs. I remember the first half during an offensive rebounding opportunity, step back jumpers versus our guards. He got to the rim one-on-one versus our guards at will, finished at the rim, got to the foul line, converted at the foul line, played like a first-team all-league guard, both offensively and defensively. 2 games this year, he dominated us. He was fantastic, hit timely shots. Anton Beard hit a couple late clock timely shots to start the second half when we were really trying to settle in defensively. Thought we came out of the gate in the second half with more defensive presence and aggression. And I told our guys at the first media of the second half, guys, we're playing harder. They've hit a couple daggers. Again, Beard hit 2 early second half that were huge backbreakers for us, big shots for them. And then, obviously, we couldn't come up with enough stops in the second half, led by Barford. And Gafford was terrific as well, 8 of 11, 16 and 12.
Raise your hand. Okay, let's go. We got 2 in the middle right there. Let's get those 2. There you go.
Coach, how disappointing was it to have Hudson get himself in foul trouble in that first half?
We like him out there on the floor, of course. I don't know if he played a bunch more minutes, how much more effective he would have been. I'm not sure. I didn't. We had 4 or 5 guys that weren't the same. They just weren't the same. Our intensity level wasn't as high as theirs was. They played with more aggression overall, with more fight. When you look at our roster, and this is all on me, and I've got to figure out a way in postseason play to get us more prepared. We had a bunch of rest this week. I thought we were pretty sharp in a couple of different workouts. But Chris was pretty good, and Keystone was fantastic for us. And after that, we just, in terms of our personnel, we've got to be better. We've got to play with more energy. We've got to get stops. The matchup zone, it gave us issues, of course. But our biggest strength is getting out in transition and scoring off of stops and scoring off of some turnovers. Credit Arkansas, they only have 6 turnovers, but we couldn't finish stops with rebounds. They have 14 offensive rebounds. we never were able to really get out for long stretches in the open floor and do some damage in transition offense.
Take the last question right in the back. I think there was a hand right there. Go ahead.
Hi, Coach. How encouraging was it to see Keith come out and play as well as he did? You know, he's been a little bit up and down this season, but he looked really good tonight, really productive.
Yeah.
What can you say about that?
I thought he was really good. Keith was really good. He gets 22 and 24 minutes, and I in my mind I'm like, damn, he had a couple more opportunities at the rim. I wish he would have finished. He goes 8 of 10. You know, that's a pretty good sign. He 4 or 5 from 3. He's still growing. You know, he's still just a sophomore, and we think he's got a chance to be a very good player. For him now, it's about finding that consistency.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.